Hello there, and welcome to Club Apple. Join me today for this October edition of Club Apple is Steve and Sandy. Welcome, Steve.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Doing good. It's been a while for me talking to you. It's been crazy in the Apple world recently. It's been exciting once again.
Well, it
So
was so funny because for it seemed like June, July, August, we were just dying. It seemed like never get any news. The few little stories that would come out, everybody in the Apple blogging world would just jump on because it was like, a bunch of starving wolves going after a prairie dog or something.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden it was like September came, everything blossomed, life was good. Suddenly we had
oh yeah, it
billions of things
was
to write about.
amazing. Yeah, and
Yeah, and
I'm sure we'll have by the time this show releases, this is a monthly show, as you know. There's probably going to be another Apple event that we're oblivious to, and the thing we're talking about today, Yosemite, will be available for you to download as a consumer. Gold Masters out, which means that they're pretty close. So, yeah, it's been exciting, and I'm really looking forward to the Apple Watch and
I
all
have a
the other
cat
things coming.
visiting here. We have two new kittens who are both
Oh, very
getting
cool.
turning into cats. This is Pippin here, and
Still,
Pippin,
still playful as the kittens are.
oh, way too playful, and he likes to. Anytime I'm on a podcast anymore, he likes to get on
Yeah,
and
yeah.
help.
There you go. Nag at your cords and stuff. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, pulling cords out.
uh, But yeah, in this segment, this is one of many segments on Club Apple. If you're listening to the full audio version here, we're gonna just do a deep dive in the Yosemite. We've been both using it all summer. I've been using it at work on my iMac off an external hard drive, and it's on my MacBook Air now with the Gold Master out. I finally trusted it. And Steve, you've been using it on your laptop, or what do you been using it?
Well, strangely enough, I initially started on my laptop using uh, what I thought was going to be a fast USB 3
Yep.
flash drive. And oh my God, that was slow, just deadly slow. And you'd
Oh,
watch, you'd boot up the operating system, and things would just slowly come up. And I kept thinking, no, it can't be this bad. So finally, when Parallels, whatever version it is, 10, I think,
hmm
came out, I went ahead and I created a virtual machine and loaded the most recent beta on there, and that was much, much better. It was
oh,
just like,
nice.
okay, this looks good. It's
Yeah.
fast. A lot of things were working. Some things just weren't working in the virtual machine. And strangely enough, I waited until Monday of this week to actually, I felt confident enough about it. I said, I'm going to put it on the machine that I use every day, and that's a 27-inch iMac that I'm
Yeah.
sitting in front of. And I was just totally impressed. First, it loaded quickly. Uh, I haven't had any issues with it. I did have one application that was acting a little quirky,
Printopia
and
is
then I,
not loved by Yosemite quite yet.
oh no.
Which is fine because I
Well,
don't print that much anymore, and in the office we have an AirPrint printer because those are starting to be more widespread. So yeah,
well, yeah, the one I was having problems with was from a company called Evological, and it's called EvoCam. And what I use it for is I've got a little webcam that I just have looking out a window, looking at the weather. I've got a weather
oh
station, so
cool.
I want to make sure that we have, an idea of what it actually looks like
Yeah,
outside as
yeah,
well.
that's cool.
And EvoCam, for some strange reason, the first day I had everything up and running, I was getting this black screen, and you could see, you could go into preferences, you could see that it was getting the video feed, but it was sending out this black window
Was it
to
a driver for the webcam?
I don't know, but it
Huh.
was strange because the next day I had to go in and there was an update. I had to reboot. Update came in. Everything worked perfectly. So now everything works. I have
Yeah.
no problems.
Now during the beta is frustrating because it's Final Cut Pro. Yet they like hack it to work, and not everything worked when you hacked it to work.
Mm.
And my iMac at work, even on the Gold Master, it's grayed out as doesn't work because it remembers the old crap stuff. And then my MacBook Air loaded it fresh from the GM, and Final Cut's working. So I guess there's some weird upgrading bug I encountered from the betas to the gold master.
Yeah, I tell you, it's always just kind of a crapshoot when you're doing those upgrades like that. And I know so many people who say, "I'm going to go in, I'm going to do a completely clean, wipe the hard drive, load the operating system on, and then I'm going to bring stuff over." And I'm too lazy for that.
It's
It's
getting
like
easier
life.
though. I'm thinking
Yeah,
by 10, 11 with iCloud Drive, I think that won't be a problem, right? I mean, all the apps
I
in the
think
Mac
you're
App
right.
Store, that could be pretty simple actually. So,
Yeah, because it could be a lot, like going in and doing a fresh install on any iOS device where you just
hmm
go in, you wipe it out, you reload the operating system, you bring it in, you say, restore from this backup. Thank you
yeah,
very much.
totally.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah, that'd be
wonderful.
great. I mean, yeah,
Sign me up.
they almost could do an iCloud backup for Macs in which it backs up Mac App Store apps with all the settings you had for all the Mac App Store apps. And if you did third-party stuff, that would be omitted, I'd imagine. But they could do a fairly that I don't know, that could come. Who knows? But
Yeah, and if it does, that's going to make life a heck of a lot easier.
they'd sell more iCloud storage, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because at the end of September, just yesterday, I think it was, my iCloud account was due to renew, and sure enough, a couple of weeks before, I got the little email that said, "Hey, it's time to renew. Do you want to go in with your regular additional 20 gigabytes of storage?" So I actually bumped it up, and I think I've got 200 gigs now.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
did. 200 gigs seems to be the sweet spot at $4 a month.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's not bad. It's not as cheap as
Dropbox and other
Dropbox or
places.
something like that, but yeah. But I got to admit that's at least it's getting a little bit better, and I think as Apple gets a little bit more cloud centric,
Yeah,
as you start seeing iCloud Drive actually coming online and hopefully working, knock on wood.
they're laying the foundation this year, and it
Yeah.
won't be finished this year because iCloud Photo Library is launching next year. But once all this is all foundations laid, it's gonna be pretty nice living in the cloud world with Apple. I hope.
Well, I tell you, that's one thing that I'm really a little bit concerned about because, if there's anything that people really get upset about, it's losing all their photos. And
Yes.
of course, you can go in and you can tell people 1,000 times, do a backup, have a backup offline, back it up to Dropbox, back it up to whatever, but have a backup. And they still won't do it. And, I just have this bad feeling that somebody, a small percentage, 0.05% will run into that issue. They'll lose all their photos, and sure enough, that's going to be the bend gate of 2015.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've never been pleased with the iPhoto solution because I mostly deal with MacBook Airs, and it's a constant struggle of, oh, do I store this on an external? Do I
Yeah.
eat up my entire hard drive space for iPhoto? And I've never felt safe with iPhoto because I'm using these, prone failure externals. And I was so happy whenever Pix came out a couple years ago. And I was so disappointed when they failed. And it's like, oh, maybe Apple will finally do what I want because I don't trust my Macs. Right now, I've got a huge iPad, like iPad 2 with 64 gigs, and it's just a photo backup device. That's all it does right now. So I'm looking forward and hoping they'll execute good with this.
Yeah, if they make it something like, God, if I can think of the name of the app, it's the Dropbox Carousel. If
Yep.
they make it something like that, the thing that amazes me about Carousel on iOS devices is that I literally have probably 20,000, 30,000 photos that I've
Yeah.
backed up out to Dropbox, and you can scroll through those just as fast as you want.
Huh.
And of course, you're just seeing the little
Thumbnails.
you know thumbnails, but
Yeah.
still, that if you finally say, "Oh, I wanted to find that one picture of the penguin that's standing on the rock," when you scroll through, you get to that point, you find the picture, boom, then you get it in high
hmm
resolution. And that,
Yeah.
I love it. If they can do something like that, if Apple can do that and build it in, have that Photos app that's going to allow us
hmm
to do all these wonderful things, hopefully allowing us to still create books and calendars,
Yeah, they need to add that one back
then I'm going to
in.
be a happy guy.
I was amazed how fast they
Yeah.
ditched iPhoto for iOS. It's like that was only alive for a year, maybe two. I don't know. It
Yeah.
seemed like a fast way to kill a $5 app for that people paid for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it was a bit of a shock there because I think everybody expected, oh, it's such a great little app. You can go in, you can do this, that, and the other thing, and it's like
They didn't even
goodbye.
deprecate it to like just be a book created creation tool or something. They could have done something different with it, but they killed it. So
Yeah,
yeah. But with the
they just
iCloud
went.
Photo Library, the way it's currently implemented is you're able to choose on the iDevice. Do you want full resolution stored locally, or do you want to keep just the full resolution in the cloud? The other option is device optimized versions of all your photos. So if you're short on hard drive space, it'll give you that option and keep the originals in the cloud, so to speak. So and you can mix and match. So say you get a 128 gigabyte iPad, you could have that as a local backup, so to speak, and yeah, so it's kind of cool like that. But
Which,
anyways, yeah, we'll be getting a Photos app for Yosemite next year, hopefully, and it'll be good.
yeah, that's going to be. Well, there are so many little things that are just on the edge. Like we're literally in the month now for Apple Pay, and I
Yeah,
know this
it's
has
like,
nothing to
when's
do
this
with
coming?
that, but
Yeah. Have you been?
but
I've been
I
doing
am.
this, Steve. I've been looking at like I go to like Sully's, my grocery store. And I notice they have this NFC tap to pay thing there. It's this little mom and
Yeah.
pop shop kind of thing. It's like, is that going to be turned on when Apple Pay comes out? I don't know. I'll be,
Well, it's so funny.
yeah,
Yeah, my wife and I, we shop at a Whole Foods over here because we used to be vegetarians. We got very
sure,
used to going to Whole Foods. Then when we started eating meat again after 20 years, we said, okay, we're still going to go there because they've
yeah.
got pretty good
It's a
food.
little bit of a system shock,
Well,
I'd
I
imagine.
was so thrilled on September 9th when they're talking about Apple Pay and they show Whole Foods, the logo up there. And sure enough, that chain has just gone through every store and they put in the
Huh?
new NFC enabled boxes. So
Yeah,
that was exciting. Then for my business accounts, I've got go to a little bank here. It's a little local Colorado bank. I think they've also got stuff in Arizona and California now.
hmm,
But it's called First Bank. A little local bank. And I get onto their website the other day to download my statement, and big thing there, any credit card you have with First Bank is now, will be able to be used with Apple Pay. I was thrilled, because it's
yeah,
like this little bank, and they're going to be doing that. And sure enough, the big bank,
hmm,
most of the credit cards, Chase, some of the other big carriers out there, sure enough, have said we're going to do it. So
yeah. My
I'm
credit
pretty
card's with
happy
Capital
about
One,
that.
and my bank's Chase Bank, so I'm covered for my credit card and my debit cards, which is cool. And I've just been noticing as I've been
Woohoo.
shopping, it's like there's tap to pay there. I'll tell you, I'll be tapping every time I see one of those, and I'll look like an idiot when Apple Pay launches and it doesn't work. It's like, is Apple Pay turned on yet? No.
Well, it's funny too because with the new cats, we found out that there was they opened up a Petco near us. Petco is another one of the retailers that's going to be accepting Apple Pay. Walgreens, everybody has to go to Walgreens. You get
Yeah.
prescriptions there, or my wife had eye surgery, so she needed some temporary reading glasses.
Hmm.
So we end up going there a lot. I think as you get older, they
Yeah.
force you to go to Walgreens all the time.
So I just go there when I want to get candy for the movies before I go there. That's my stop for Walgreens.
Yeah, it's like, let's see, where's that aisle that has the big boxes of hot
Exactly.
tamales, or yeah,
Yeah.
or
Uh,
my favorite, Good and Plenty's. I'm
huh.
one of those sick
Yeah.
guys who really likes, the black licorice.
Oh, there
Oh
you go.
God.
I do wonder, Apple Pay is going to be in apps on iOS with connutivity. Is that how you say it?
Oh, continuity? Yeah,
Yeah, I can't
or
say that word.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, the one where your iOS always talks to your Mac. I wonder, will I be able to authorize Apple Pay purchases on my Mac through my iPhone or something like that, where they talk together like that? Maybe.
Oh God, would that be neat? I mean,
Because that'd be
seriously,
kind of
that
cool.
would be
Like if
cool.
any website could support Apple Pay, it just needs to be on a Mac and talking to. That'd be voodoo magic if they can make that work in Safari, but it'd be cool.
Well, I tell you, the one thing, and this is kind of getting back to talking about quit rubbing up against the microphone, cat. Anyway, it's just like goes over there right up against. Anyway, one of the things that I thought was really magical the first time I got a phone call on my iPhone, and I'm sitting here with this big machine here,
Yeah.
and a phone call came in, and I see that notification come up. You're getting a phone call from,
Hmm.
and it was my parents. Clicked on it, and I hear the voice coming out of the computer, and it was
Yeah.
like, this is really cool. Today, just for the heck of it, I had to call somebody at one point, and I went in and had an email with their phone number in it,
Hmm.
clicked on it, dialed, dials the
It's
phone.
seamless. No setup really. You just said you logged in the same FaceTime account, and
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty much it as far as setup.
yeah, and it was like that. That's what amazed me is I hadn't even thought about that after I set this up. I had never used it on the virtual machines. So when I got this all set up and running, and I'm having a good day, a phone call comes in, and I'm just like, I didn't set that up, and it's working.
Yeah,
That's
no, it's
cool.
bizarre. And today at work, I had the experience of my iPad Mini was in front of me because we do iPad apps at work, so was testing some stuff. So my iPad rang, my iPhone 6 Plus rang, my MacBook Air rang, and my iMac rang. And the even cooler thing is when and so like everything, you're not going to miss a phone call anymore. Basically, if you have the iDevices, you'll be annoyed to answer the phone because it's going to ring everywhere. Uh,
Yeah, you just end up having, whatever device is closest you grab, pick
Totally.
up the
And
call.
when I got my 6 Plus, it took like 3 hours for it to activate on AT&T. But since they were logged in the same account, I answered a phone call on my 6 Plus before it was activated through my iPhone 5.
Whoa.
So my iPhone 6
Yeah,
Plus rang when I got it. It's like, oh, it's not even activated yet. That's really cool.
that's cool. That is
So
really cool.
yeah, I could
Well,
see
you know
people
what
just
I'm.
having Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I could see people with houses. I don't have a house. I have a studio. But if you have a house, I see people just having extra iPhones docked, and just have how with landlines, people have phones in every room. The future could be you have old iPhones just docked in, and you have your phone in every room that's all connected and working together.
Well, the one thing I'm wondering is if they're going to extend this continuity to Apple TV. So you could be sitting there talking, you're sitting there. We have this issue right now where we still have a landline. That's what
Yep.
was just ringing there a minute ago. It's, of course, either a charity asking for money or a political
Yep.
person asking for money, or it's my parents. Those are the three
Sure.
people that call us. But when that thing rings, since it's on Comcast, we get that nice little thing on the TV screen that says phone call from, your parents,
Oh, cool.
such number.
Yeah.
But I can't answer it.
No.
I have to run over and I've got to pick up this stupid thing and answer it. What would be cool is if we had that through Apple TV or some future iteration of Apple TV
Yeah.
to be able to just say, I've got my remote here, which also happens to be my watch, which also happens to be tied into all the rest of this.
And
Tap
also
on it,
microphone.
and then I'm talking to this person, and I can see their image up on the screen.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, the Apple TV thing, it wouldn't work alone unless you built a microphone into the remote control or something.
yeah,
Or, because the box is going to be positioned in a place that probably won't sound good.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Like sitting underneath a pile of other boxes that are
yeah,
under the TV, and
in a closed, yeah, door or something, yeah.
yeah, that's sad where
But I
those
was
things end
joking
up.
the other day that the next iPod Nano would be amazing if I could answer phone calls on an updated version of this with Wi-Fi. So I got my
Oh,
little Zoolander phone. How
that would be
awesome would
cool.
that be? Because it,
Yeah, and
yeah,
or you could be making two phone calls. You could have the iPhone 6 Plus on one ear and the little Zoolander phone on the other.
yeah. Like with the 6 Plus, I'm using headsets now, so I got this little Plantronics.
Oh
It's kind of
yeah.
iPhone themed. It's like $30 on Amazon, and last 7 hours all day at work, and I'm using that because I've decided I'm not going to be one of those people that just has a huge phone up to the ear. I'm just going
Well,
to use this
what's
guy.
really surprised me with the iPhone 6 Plus, and I know we're supposed to be talking
Yeah,
about
Yosemite. We'll get back on
so,
track.
let's see, something called Yosemite or something like that. But
Yeah.
I've been really, really surprised at how good the voice call quality is on the
Compared to
6
your
Plus.
your 5S or whatever you had previous.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Huh.
everything I had previously. I don't know if it's just that
Are
maybe
you on
I'm
Verizon
having a
by any
good.
chance?
No, AT&T.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was Verizon LTE voice, that stuff happening.
Yeah,
But
I don't know
yeah,
what's causing
huh?
it, but for once I'm kind of happy with the phone.
Yeah, that's really cool. I will say the speaker is so loud on the 6 Plus. Like I have to turn it down when I'm listening to podcasts. Like, oh, too loud there.
Whoa! Yeah, it is. Well, especially when a phone call comes in and I put it on speaker, it's like, "Hello, how are you doing?" Oh my God!
Yeah.
Could you whisper over on the other end? But
But yeah, the last thing I'll say about the 6 Plus, I'm not sure if I said this already, but it feels like the glass on the screen is super thick and has a wonderful curve all around it, even the middle of it, and just so fun to touch. Like it just is a weird sensation. Like yeah,
I,
it's great.
it's funny because when if you go through all the generations of iPhones, I've had one of every one of them. Well, actually, I
Mm-hmm.
had two of one of them because I lost it like 3 weeks before they announced the next model, and I had to
Yeah.
buy a new one. That was horrible.
Yeah, I'm
But
missing a
anyway,
4 and
I
a
look at all the, you
5S
have,
of the other ones.
but the 5S, 5 to 5S, it was like, okay, well, that's
Touch
exciting.
ID. I mean, but Touch
Yeah,
ID
that's
didn't
okay.
really matter until this year, I'd say. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, it was
but
a
I
cool
tell you,
novelty last year, but this year it's finally functional.
yeah. Well, it's going to be nice to see that, hopefully on iPads coming up. I know there was some
Yes, that'll be awesome.
discussion out on a lot of the sites here recently that, people are seeing strings in the operating system for iOS 8.1 that say something about iPad, Touch
They
ID,
just they
blah, blah,
just need
blah.
iMacs with trackpads with Touch ID button or something.
Yeah,
you know,
we've got this wonderful, wonderful keyboard that Apple,
they could even
has
put a button on the
made for
keyboard
years.
that has a Touch ID. It's a Touch ID button. They could have that.
Yeah,
That'd be
or they
cool.
could put it right in the middle of the space bar or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love to see that. But anyways, yeah, yeah. 5S was cool with Touch ID, and it's going to be even cooler with all the apps.
But okay, we should probably
But yeah,
talk about
Yosemite. So
Yosemite.
something I noticed with the GM is they're calling it Candidate One this year, or just Candidate Release. Last year they had like two GMs, so I think they learned their lesson with this year to have a. This might be it, Goldmaster.
We're thinking this might be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but I got to admit, yeah, the first time I brought it up, when I had my flash drive and I was doing it on the MacBook Air or MacBook Pro, brought it up and you've got that flat interface. And my first immediate thought after so many years of, this kind of skeuomorphic, interface here, it
Yeah.
just looked weird. And it's amazing how quickly I've got not only gotten used to it, but kind of gone, I like it a lot more. It seems so much cleaner. It's not as cluttered. I like the fact that you can actually hit on the stoplight up at the upper left-hand corner of a window that you can actually hit the green ball to make it go full screen like I just did.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. The green button actually makes sense for people now. One thing everyone was worried about is iOS 7 was such a radical change. This is just radical. It's not like uberly radical that'll freak people out.
We hope not.
Yeah, hopefully not. But yeah, it's nice. Just the look and feel of it is very. It's nice. Spotlight is my favorite new change,
Yeah,
graphically speaking. Yeah, it's
agreed.
wonderful. Yeah, I have had an issue where websites are coming up faster than the local apps on my hard drive sometimes with
Yeah.
the web searches. Yeah, but
Well, and
overall,
I love
it's
the
it's great.
fact that, you end up getting that big spotlight window that ends up showing up right where your eyes are, it seems like.
Hmm.
And you start typing in something like, let's see, what do I want to do? So I type in sprites, computer graphics. I get Wikipedia hits. I get definition from the, I get all of these emails that
And I
happen to
just
have the
typed in
word
Pizza
space.
Hut, Mr. Steve, and it pulled up a map. I can click on the phone number and call them from my Mac, and directions to here, and push those to my iPhone. So
Pizza Hut.
that's going to be handy.
There we are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
you can
love that.
within seconds know where the closest Pizza Hut is.
And that it would be near Broadway and Mineral, and I want to get directions to that. So I hit this. I say directions from here, and I now have directions, which I can send to my phone. That's
Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah, I'm sure you could do movie times the same way and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
as long as I can buy tickets, I'm in great shape there. But yeah, that's really cool. Unfortunately, I think what Apple needs to do, and they never seem to do this. It always surprises people when I do some iOS classes, and
Hmm.
I'll show people a feature, and they go, "I didn't know you could do that." And
Yeah, totally.
it's something those of us who do podcasting and write about this stuff, we kind of go,
Hmm.
"Oh yeah, we know about that. It's a really cool feature." But for the most part, the general public a lot of times doesn't hear about these things, and they
Hmm.
somehow run into them. They either run into somebody like you or me,
Or by
or
accident. Yeah.
or by accident, and they go, "Holy cow, that's really cool." Um, I honestly wish that Apple would just do, they could do a series of 15-second ads that would just say, "Have a Mac, have an iPhone, blah 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 blah," show
Is
in 15 seconds how you could do something.
is it my imagination? Did they used to do a when you install the new OS, play a video that has new the features, or there was like they showed you a PDF that had like here's what to look forward to, kind of thing?
Yeah, and they also well, as I remember, they used to, or was that Windows? No, God, oh God, it was Windows.
I
Windows
know
used
they
to
did a
do
PDF
the
thing, but they don't even do that
yeah, they
anymore.
did a
With like,
PDF.
here's some stuff to. It just opens up. Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
But even have a link that would come up and just say, um,
Go to
congratulations
Apple.com with
for
all this
getting this.
info.
If you'd like to learn more about OS 10 Yosemite, click here and we'll put a bookmark on your desktop
Hmm.
and you can go out and you can look at it at your leisure. That would be perfect
Yeah,
because I really think they need to show people some of these magical things that they can do
yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
because then people will really go, you know, hey, Windows, what the heck's that? Windows 10?
Well, did you
That's
hear
bizarre.
the? I heard this today. The reason they went to 10 is because there's a lot of code in Windows that said if Windows 9 whatever do this, and because of Windows 95, 98, 99, they couldn't name Windows 9 because of all the legacy code that would get messed up with it. That's
Wow.
what I heard from on Reddit from some Windows developer. I think Andy
That
Ihnatko tweeted
actually
that out.
makes some,
It
well, it
does,
makes a
yeah.
lot of sense.
It would have been
Well, and
great if,
then,
yeah. Would have been interesting if
comments
they
that,
said that during the keynote or whatever. It's like,
yeah,
here's
by
why
the
we're
way,
going to
we think
10.
this.
Because we did this back 10 years ago and messed up. Not messed up, but
That's
didn't
a scary
anticipate.
thought.
Because they went right from this to the 7, right? 7 was the first numbering of their system, right?
Yeah, because they had, oh God. Yeah, because it was XP and then 7,
Okay.
then 8, then 8 bombed badly, so they went back in and with 8.1 added some of the features that were kind of Windows 7-ish. And I think they
Hmm.
figured that Windows 8.1 was actually Windows 9. So,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, there you
I
go.
think that's the story they're sticking with. But
Yeah.
I'd
But I love
believe
that
you a lot
Apple
more.
pushed out the GM the day Windows 10 was announced. That's good timing. I don't know if that was accidental or not.
Yeah, we actually have a project or a product that may work.
Yeah.
But
Now in
oh, I'm sorry.
Yosemite, something I noticed at work the other day is my browser history in Safari is syncing from my home and work machine, and kind of don't want my browser history from my personal stuff syncing to my work machine. Quite honestly,
Yeah, whoops.
it's like yeah. So I'm finding I'm just clearing my browser history every day because I really want my work machine to just show all my work searches. You know.
Well, the one thing I've been surprised about, and really so far, I think the only I don't know what you want to call it, kind of artifact of uh, whatever the heck they call it, the continuity,
Hmm.
is that occasionally when you look at the lock screen, you'll see a little Safari icon over there.
Yep, that's the most consistent one I've got to work as far as going back and forth
Yeah.
between devices, and it's handy. It is.
Yeah, I haven't tried it with Pages or anything like that. I probably should,
Oh, that'd
but
be kind of cool to test that. Yeah, email I haven't done that with either. I've seen it there. I wonder if that'd be really cool if you're watching a movie on your Apple TV and there's an icon of the video on the bottom left to just swipe and resume. That could be cool if they do that.
oh, that would be
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah. There's a
beautiful.
lot of cool potential there. I
That'd
think.
be
Yeah.
way too cool. Yeah, and I think once again that's something that I hope Apple, I mean, as many websites as there are, we all write about this stuff, but I think there's still a huge part of the population that doesn't go out and actually read sites like Tua or whatever Mac Rumors or
Yeah, and the
iMore. Those are,
handoff is the
yeah,
easiest thing to miss because it's so small and it only shows up in certain situations that you almost have
yeah,
to plan for. Like, oh, Safari's not shown there if I, close it out or something, and
yeah,
it has to be
yeah.
like
So
the
that,
open application or something. Yeah.
yeah, it'd be so cool. Once again, they really, I think that's one of the big, I won't say mistakes that Apple's making, but I think it's one of the big things that they really need to address is, every year they add some really great features, but I think there's such a
Hmm.
small percentage of the population of owners out there who really take advantage of a lot of those things.
Now in the App Store, it's interesting. They're they're teaching users about the new features through promoting apps that take advantage of the new features for iOS at least. I'm not sure if they'll do that with Yosemite, but they're teaching users that hey, you can now do keyboards, you can now do sharing sheets, you can
Yeah.
now do Health Kit. They're doing all these things to promote the OS with by promoting apps. That's kind of a weird solution to do that with. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see something like that with the Mac App Store. I would certainly hope so that they'd be able to say, oh, by the way, if you happen to like continuity, here are the apps that are handoff. Here are all the apps that are going to
Hmm.
take advantage of that right at this point. And you're going to need them on both devices, but here's how it works. And
Yeah.
you know, the one other thing I keep thinking about, the App Store, at least the iTunes App Store for iOS, added those wonderful video previews. And to be
Yeah.
honest
Those are
with you,
great.
I don't know if they're in the Mac App Store or not, but that'd almost be a great way for them to get that information out as well. Be able to, say, hey, vendors, if you've got this feature built in, show somebody in a 30-second video or a
Hmm.
45-second video how it works and how seamless it is to go from this machine to this machine. Oh, that'd be great.
Now, something I just thought of as we were talking here is a lot of Mac apps and vice versa don't have counterpart apps yet. And
Yeah,
part of the reason for that is they don't think you should be creating on X device or whatever the case may be.
yeah,
I just thought with handoff how cool it would be what if maybe it's not good to create on my iPhone, but maybe it's good to pull up that pixel link or document as just an image of what I was just working on so I can show it to somebody. Like I would love to have more previewing apps on iOS and vice versa that do handoff, and all it does is just
yeah.
let's pull up what I've been working on to show somebody. That would be kind of a cool thing to do, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and you have some third-party apps that do a really good job of previewing like a huge variety of file formats and things like that.
Hmm.
But still, it ought to be more embedded into the operating system. If there's an app that's got a certain level of popularity, it sure be nice to for Apple to say, okay, we're going to embrace that, in your
Hmm.
previews or handoff or whatever. We're going to make sure that we kind of bake that into the operating
Yeah.
systems.
So
Like I say,
I know
pixel meters are
Scrivener's
perfect.
hesitant to do iOS apps, so it'd be cool to just at least let me read what I just wrote by a previewing app. I don't know. Stuff like that. That'd be handy.
Yeah,
But
agreed. Yeah,
in Mail, one thing they are solving for people this time around with Yosemite is I don't know how people muggles that. It's like, why didn't this email send? And they attach like 50 megs of images to it, and I don't know what the limit is, but they're expanding that with some iCloud trickery.
Yeah, they call it. We were just talking about it today because we're starting to write up some documents, I guess you could say, or posts for
Mm-hmm.
Tua, and this one is called it's mail drop. That's what they're calling it.
Okay.
And so if it's over a certain size, basically what it does is says, okay, well we're going to send off this email, and it's going to have a link in it, and in the background we're going to go ahead, we're going to upload this file over to your wonderful iCloud
Mm-hmm.
drive out here, and that person, when they get the email, they'll click on the link, and it's not there, but it'll
Mm-hmm.
probably come up and say, "We're still receiving this file. Please wait a little bit."
Yeah.
Show up.
Is
But
that
yeah,
your
be
file
able to
size? Do you know
finally
what that
send.
is?
I think it's 5 gigabytes
That's
or
huge.
something like that.
You could send a little
Yeah.
SD full-featured movie if you wanted to.
Well, in fact, it was funny because today when I was thinking about that, and I had a 3.4 gigabyte video file
Yeah.
that's of the, strangely enough, the original iPhone rollout. I
Mm-hmm.
was over at one of the local Apple stores, and I had this wonderful video, and I got a email from this lady. They're working on a documentary, and they want to use just a couple snaps or short
Mm-hmm.
segments from that video in this documentary. And I said, sure, no problem.
Sure.
Well, to send the high quality version of this 17-minute video, it was like 3.8
Yeah.
gigs.
How do you do that? I mean,
Yeah, so
Dropbox, but that's another thing.
yeah, put it in Dropbox, do a link. It'd been much better if I could have just, and at that time I still hadn't
Upgraded yet,
installed
right?
this Golden Master here,
Mm-hmm.
but to have been able to say, here, go for it.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Here's the email. Click here. You're going to get it.
I'm imagining it's tied to emailing out of an iCloud address, right? Or is it just if you're logged into iCloud, it'll pull in whatever?
That I don't know.
Yeah.
That's going to be kind of
So
fun
it
to
could
try
work
because
even without an iCloud address if it's like I'm logged in on this Mac to my account and then it just does its magic that way. I don't know.
yeah. So you're on a Gmail account. You say, oh, I'm going to send this, 5 gigabyte file to Tim,
Yeah.
and so maybe it just
Yeah, I
creates
guess
the
that's
link
something we'll
out
have to
there
test
anyway.
out later on. But yeah,
But
and you
yeah,
also be able to
I'll drop. Yeah.
annotate. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, and the built-in annotation, like you said, that's cool.
Yeah, that'll be handy. Like I do a fair amount of annotation, and I use PF Pen, but this will be faster and quicker for the simple stuff.
Well, it was funny because that same lady sent me. I had a legal document that I had to. Yeah, it's another political phone call. Ah. What I do is answer them and hang up. It's
There
fun.
you go.
I don't
Yeah.
even say anything. But yeah, where was I? We were talking.
Oh
Oh,
wow. They want to talk to you, I guess.
persistent.
Yeah, but
Uh,
annotation,
oh yeah,
the
yeah.
video,
Anyway,
yeah.
she sent this document, a legal document that I had to sign, and of course I just took it, you know, put it on the desktop, dragged it to the desktop, opened it up in preview, went in, you know, annotated by putting my address and everything, all the text there, and threw the signature in. Being able to do that directly in mail,
Hmm.
priceless.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the video
Thumbs
thing.
up.
I had a couple months back, I got an email about we're doing this new TV show on I forget what channel, but he explained the show. It's like we're doing a show about dangerous situations you shouldn't be in, and um, it's like we'd like to see this video on why you shouldn't be doing what you're doing there. It's like okay, sure. It's one of my Hawaii videos where I was in the ocean doing crazy stuff on a rock
Oh
wall.
my
It
God.
wasn't the one where I almost died. It was a different one that I was actually being quite safe. So I don't know whether it's. I at point it's like that's the one you really want. That's the one where I was
Yeah,
being really stupid.
that's the better one
Yeah.
there.
But anyways,
So one question I've got to ask you is, are you like really upset that you no longer have dashboard with the widgets over there, and that they've been replaced by widgets and notification
they're
center?
both places though, right? I still have a dashboard.
There's You do?
You might have to turn it on in the spaces option. Let me check. So
Let me
mission
look here.
control. I think we have two kinds of widgets now, which is cool.
Mission control.
Is it
Let's
there?
see.
Because I have it enabled. Maybe it's dashboard as a space. Here we go. Dashboard as a space. I just searched for it and it showed up.
Whoa.
Uh, sh- oh yeah, dashboard. It's on the first
Maybe it
half of
realized
it.
I never.
Yeah, it's in there. So dashboard as a space. It's right below all those check marks.
That's under the mission control. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Dashboard.
Yeah.
Off or on.
So how confusing will it be to
Or
users
as
that we
overlay.
have two sets of widgets now, Steve?
We got those widgets and the new widgets.
You get the legacy. Yeah, it's sad. I like the old dashboard where you have this huge space for all that stuff, and I'd imagine next OS they'll be bye-bye as these new widgets get more fleshed out.
Well, it's so funny too because I think about when widgets first showed up and dashboard was out there,
Tiger.
and
Yeah.
yeah, Tiger, and it was
Yep.
so many people were just, oh wow, this is great, and you could go out and you could get all these really neat widgets and put them out there,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was like a year later, nobody was coming out with anything new, and
No.
it was so funny because even before I started with Tua, they had a category that was widget of the week, and they would go in and they would
Good
do.
luck keeping that one up.
Yeah, and it's like there's no way you can do it. Maybe we can, kind of bring that up again now that we've got these
New
on
life
the
in it,
today
yeah.
screen.
And I'll say iOS widgets are so much more useful than the Mac widgets ever were for me. It's so handy.
Yeah,
It's sad that Apple killed off the launcher widget, which is like amazing, which allows you to launch apps from your iOS notification center.
yeah,
So
that
it's
was kind of bad.
yeah, I hope they bring that back because like there's some apps like if I need to I need to get to my Apple TV remote app really quickly. I need to get to Hue. Certain apps I just need quick access to, and it's faster than going to the home screen. You have to hit a home button, and it's wait for that animation to go. It's slower. So, but yeah, I'll be curious what
Well,
Mac
it's so funny
widgets pop
because
up.
yeah, well, I'm looking at the, kind of the standard today screen here. I've got Wednesday, October 1st. Tim Chaten, Not Another Mac podcast, is currently in progress. It started 46 minutes ago. You've got the calendar widget, showing that
Mm-hmm.
it started at 7. It's now 7:45 my time. It's got
Yep.
all that. Stocks, you can see that the stock market just tanked today. Weather in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, Orlando, Florida, Reykjavik, Iceland, and London. And great
Yeah.
stuff. Love it.
Yeah. So that's just the built-in stuff. I can't wait for third-party apps to get there.
Oh, that's going to be
I am
wonderful.
sad that Twitter is not. I can't tweet out of that anymore. I don't see a way to do that.
Oh
That used to be
no!
really handy. Oh wait, I can add social. Never mind. I'm stupid.
Was
It's there.
under
You have to add it. The edit button at the bottom.
social. There we are.
Yeah. So I guess that's all in there. Never mind.
I see it.
Oh, it's
Oh
not on the
yes.
iOS.
There's also one. Well, I see one for Parallels Desktop, which is kind of interesting.
Ooh, that's cool.
I have absolutely no idea what it does, and I'm afraid to touch it. So now, I do like the fact that they have the calculator available from there, so you can,
Yeah,
just
Peacock's been
with
handy
one
on
click.
iOS. It's cool that they have, I guess, built-in on Mac here.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just comes up and
So I don't think we'll ever need except for really, really big calculator apps. The basic calculator apps, they're just widgets now. Who needs them? Like there is
yeah,
still a
this kind of like,
calculator app that Apple creates for iOS, right? That's still in the build, right? I mean,
uh, yeah, it is. Well, at
yeah.
least on the
So
iPhone.
yeah, on the iPhone, yeah.
Yeah,
So I wonder how long that'll last before they just turn that into a widget.
yeah. It's like
That'd be kind
bugger.
of interesting if like mid like 8.3 calculator app now widget.
Yeah, probably or
But
8.1. Who knows?
yeah, who knows? But some other stuff coming. Yosemite is SMS relay, so we'll be able to text those stupid Android people who are Macs.
Thank God. Yeah.
Or as a fallback when iMessages is down. Let's be fair, that happens.
Never, never. I think yesterday, yeah. But yeah, I thought that was a cool thing. I do love the fact that, once I get my wife, we send tons of text messages back and forth
Hmm.
at work right now. And it's just one of those things where, she's like, what are you up to? What's the cat? Or what are the cats doing? She's complaining about somebody at work making a lot of noise or
Now,
whatever.
Steve, how
And
often are you
so we're
using
constantly
predictive
doing that.
type with those messages?
Just a little, just a little.
Just a
Just,
little, okay.
just, I can't say that loud. But
Okay.
the cool thing is, I love the fact that we're going to be able to do those quick voice messages now too.
Oh yeah.
That's one thing you see is that little microphone icon and being able to click on that and just say, "Hey, I'm going to be heading over to Walgreens in 10 minutes to try out Apple Pay,"
Yeah.
and she'll be able to hear that on her iOS device, her iPhone at work.
Yeah,
So
because I don't want to call somebody. I just want to leave a voicemail. Like I just want a button to do it right to. That's the better
yeah,
way to do it. Yeah. Like
yeah, because then you don't have to go through the how are you doing, blah blah
yeah.
blah blah blah.
Just get to
Instead,
the
you
meat.
just
Yeah.
this is what I want to get across to you
Totally.
without typing. Yeah,
Yeah. Better than
or being
dictation. Yeah. Um. Next. I think we held off one of the big things. We talked briefly about iCloud Drive, but it's an interesting setup with iCloud Drive. It's flawless on the Mac, like the way you have in the sidebar, you're able to add new folders and stuff like that. But on iOS, there's some apps like Documents by Readdle. You're able to open any file from iCloud Drive, and even edit text files from there. So text edits available from there. But there is no like officially sanctioned way from Apple to let me see all my iCloud Drive stuff and choose what app to open it from on the iOS Finder. Like I want an iCloud Drive app. You know.
yeah, that would be so nice. And like I said, I've been a little bit reticent about going in
You turned
and
it on,
actually,
or did you not? Yeah.
I haven't turned it on yet.
Okay, you haven't turned it on because yeah, you have to wait till all your devices are upgraded. You know.
And I probably can't do my work machine.
Not
But
quite
the,
yet.
the yeah, the bad thing is I found out that I use Ulysses as kind of a markdown editor. I
Hmm.
happen to like it, and well, I had a bunch of documents that were sitting out in iCloud.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get to them right now because I haven't,
Oh, so certain
actually.
apps are even just they're going iCloud Drive whether you like it or not.
Yeah, so what I'm going to
Okay.
end up having to do is go over to the one machine that's still on Mavericks,
Hmm.
grab the files, bring them over, and yeah, it's kind of messy, but
Oh, because on Yosemite you don't opt into iCloud Drive, right? It's just kind of there
well, on Yosemite, you have to opt into it, but I haven't
on an
opted
account
into it yet.
basis. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of just having that ability to go in from Pages or whatever and say, oh, here are all of your wonderful documents that you had out
Hmm.
in iCloud. In fact, I'm going to look at that real quick because you got me interested. Yeah, iCloud Drive.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
tell
so
you, it's weird they if they okay, it's weird they launched iCloud Drive with iOS 8 and not Yosemite. They could have fixed a lot of this problem by let's detect if a user has been using iWork on the Mac. If that has been met, let's not ask them about iCloud Drive on setup. Let's have that in system preferences where they can discover it if they want to by themselves. If there are someone that hasn't used that, which would mean to Apple that you're more likely a Windows user, that let's ask them because Windows users can use iCloud Drive today. So it seems weird to just bring it on all these Mac users that don't have access to it yet.
yeah.
But anyways,
Well, and to realize that my stuff is probably out there, it's just I can't get to it yet because
so
I'm
the yeah.
really worried about turning it on. But I think once everything works gets up and running. I think it's going to be a little bit nicer than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit more open. Yeah.
So yeah, the last big thing we've talked a lot about this is the iPhone talking to the Mac with. One thing I noticed with the calling from the Mac, the FaceTime app I used to not have open on my Mac at all. Now it's just going to be open all the time because anytime you place a phone call or get a phone call in, it just bounces open and that's what it uses. So um, it's weird. I kind of want that FaceTime app as something else, like a background process that doesn't have to open and close every time that happens.
Yeah, it seems like it ought to just, or you should have the option to use it, but hide it.
It should be a widget
Yeah.
almost.
Well, they do have the one little, the phone call widget that shows up, but still, like you said, I think it's going through
For FaceTime app, yeah.
FaceTime, which is
And
just,
now that makes much more sense for people that were wondering why is it linked to FaceTime on my iPad and iPhone to do this, and it's
yeah.
probably because yeah, that's what the Mac technology is based on. Probably the iPad, if you knew what apps were running.
So if only we'd been thinking about it 2 years ago, we could have said, we know where Apple's
Mm,
going,
yes, um,
but we didn't.
we did not. No, the tethering has been really, really awesome. Just it's so
Wow.
nice. I mean, it's just so simple. Yeah,
Well,
and
I
now
was so
yeah.
surprised the first. I mean, like I said, I was totally shocked. That's another one of those things that was like, oh my God, this is working. I didn't have to set it up. But I was checking my
Yeah.
Wi-Fi item over there, and I saw this. It's like, oh, so you want to use your wonderful iPhone
Hmm.
named such and such as your, to
Yeah.
create a instant uh, tethering setup, and it was just like, that's
And
incredible.
now, Steve, the rumors can die of an LTE MacBook Air, right? I mean,
Yeah, finally. Ain't gonna happen, folks.
yeah. Now I have a weird thing with my AirPlay icon. I'm able. It says I can AirPlay my display to a laptop that's sitting at my work 30, 40 miles away. I don't think that would actually work, but it's sitting there as an option.
You could scare the heck out of somebody. If there's anybody working late.
No, but it is funny. He has it turned on his computer as like an air server thing. So whenever I want to, I can just troll him and start airplaying to his screen.
Now that's fun.
Yeah,
That's fun.
you gotta have some fun.
It was kind of funny. I was thinking about a couple of the things that you can do now. For instance, the AirDrop capability between iOS and Yosemite is just absolutely cool. I love it
You've gotten that
because
to work then,
AirDrop.
because I have not. I haven't gotten the situation right where that's working. Is there a certain type of file you're trying to send over, or just photos kind of
Well,
thing?
yeah. Let me see if I can find a good example here, and I'll show you what
So I
it
used
ends
it
up.
iOS to iOS today. That was like first time I ever used it because I've never had much of a need, but we had an iPad that was recently set up that didn't have email on yet, and it's
Yeah.
pretty
So
neat.
like right here, I don't know if you can see that on the screen there,
Yep, I
but
see your little icon now.
it came up and immediately says Steve iMac, and tap on that. It's
Hmm.
done. It's absolutely drop
That's
dead
cool.
simple, very very easy to do. Well, it occurred to me if they're able to do that, why hasn't Apple done some sort of remote control app? They always had Back to the Mac that they never
Hmm.
really told people about because I don't think it really worked all that well.
No.
But you had other applications that various apps that were out there that let you go in and actually control your Mac remotely. I tend to use whatever the name of it is, Parallels Access right now
Hmm.
because I really like it. From an iOS device, I can take control of this machine. But it really surprises me that Apple hasn't baked that into the operating system. Oh,
Maybe they
you
just
got
know it's always going to be too buggy to do.
that. Well, I have to admit, Parallels, I think they've done the best possible
Hmm.
job of anybody. That's the only app that I've ever felt really comfortable about bringing up on an iPhone,
Yeah.
doing something with my Mac in the office from wherever I happen to be. I
Hmm.
actually did a parallels access. I think I've now got the distance record. We were cruising around kind of the northern end of Antarctica in February, and I was
As one
controlling my
does.
machine at home, in Colorado. So that was really really cool, and that was over a fairly slow shipboard internet
Yeah.
service, and it worked. And I was just
Hmm.
like, okay, this is really cool.
Hmm.
So Parallels, has to definitely get a pat on the back for that. But come
Yeah, I've
on,
used Back
Apple,
to Mac
build it in.
before, and it took me like 30 minutes to do something. If I was in front of the machine, it would have took like 2 minutes. Like, it's so annoying. It's like, come on, do it. I really need this file.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Please send it back to me.
Yeah, with the
Yeah, there.
AirDrop, I really wish when Apple makes the iCloud Drive app for iOS, please do that. Have a little folder for AirDrop files that anything AirDrop just goes in there as a repository. That'd be cool.
Yeah, a
Um,
suppository. Oh, repository.
as a folder. Anything goes there, just gets dumped there. You know. I know they like to like put photos in the Photos app, but it'd be cool to have a copy there too, just to know where it is.
I'm trying to remember what app it was. I was just playing with a few days ago. Something rather new. Let's see if I can even find it here. But it was one of those that really kind of surprised me because it allowed you to build your own file structure,
Hmm.
folders and create apps and or excuse me, create documents. Really surprised the heck out of me. Now I can't remember what it was, but it'll come to me like
Yeah,
tomorrow or midnight tonight. One of those things.
yeah.
But it
I
was
do
actually,
hope like iCloud. It's frustrating because I don't know what apps are iCloud Drive enabled. Even when I go to preferences on my iPhone and it says Bywords iCloud Drive enabled, I go to Byword. It's not doing the things I would expect from iCloud Drive, which would enable me
yeah,
to see the other folders like TextEdit. It's not
yeah,
showing up. So it's gonna be slow growing pains for that. I feel. But
yeah.
yeah. And then Swift, I guess, is the
as
last
as
thing.
always, we always.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, Swift's the last thing that's an Apple's Yosemite page. Are we gonna see any apps this fall from this language yet?
Well, you've seen all those ads out there for developers with 3 years of Swift experience, and I don't think anybody's been able to find them yet. So
No,
it's,
no. Yeah,
it's a bit of a
I'll be
problem. But
curious. Like, I don't know. It seems like a good time to start learning a development language.
yeah, I'm kind of curious because I've talked to some developers who embraced it day one. When they heard
Hmm.
about it at WWDC 2014, and the comments were, it makes sense. It's allowing me to do things in 5 lines of code that normally took me 50,
Yeah.
and so you're seeing a lot of that. Uh, I haven't heard any negative comments. Now,
Hmm.
I don't know if that means that a lot of people just said, "Oh, forget it. I've spent all these years learning Objective C. I'm
I'm
not gonna
good. Yeah.
not gonna drop everything and go to this half-baked Apple language," or that people are using it and just going, "Wow, it works. This is working the way we want to." I don't spend enough time in the developer world to really
Yeah,
know. So,
I'm
have you
very
heard
scared
anything?
by coding. I just don't know. I dabbled when I was in college. It's like I'm so confused. I had so many Objective C books. It's like this is just gibberish to me. I've always wanted like a graphical user interface for writing other apps. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, even if they're simple apps. That hasn't happened. I love like here's you want to make basic apps, drag and drop interface, and all that stuff. But that
It
won't
would be
happen. I don't think.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing I loved about HyperCard and HyperTalk
Yeah.
was I was able, as a person that really didn't do a lot of programming, I was able to go in and make some pretty sophisticated applications that had,
Hmm.
they acted like Mac apps. They worked just great. I would love to see Apple,
Yeah. Would
kind
it
of
be
come
a
back and.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, but be able to do something like that that would run on iOS, it would run on Mac, but it would be that kind of toolkit again where we could just,
Hmm.
I need a little app that's going to do X, Y, and Z. I want to be able to write it myself. Boom, boom,
Yeah, I
boom.
want to
There,
write
it's
an
done.
app like that promotes. I don't know. My wedding. I want to make an app so I don't have to use this generic one that everyone else uses, or you know, it wouldn't be a far step from. They did iWeb. Websites can be almost like apps with like you have
Yeah.
plugins and stuff for things. You could almost, you know, it's not a far step from going to a web page to making. Let's just do an app kind of creation thing that's kind of similar to building websites.
Yeah, and when you think about it, the original, you remember the first year of the iPhone, the idea was, oh, web apps. Web
Mm-hmm.
apps are the thing you're going to do. Everything's going to go out. You're going to grab it from here. You're not going to have all these apps on your device. And then that got killed.
Yeah,
And
jailbreak 2 weeks
it
later.
was, yeah, it was so cool to see that, finally you had all these native apps. And web apps, you really don't hear about them all that much anymore.
No,
But
there's a
uh,
couple still being made, but yeah.
yeah, and I just, I loved HyperTalk. It was such an easy language. It literally was English.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've heard
the
amazing things about the languages before my time, though. Yeah.
yeah, it was. I mean, and the great thing was you had a lot of people that were creating extensions to that. Like there was an extension that I could take and I could put into a HyperCard stack that would allow it to go out and pull information off of a mainframe.
Hmm.
Uh, if you remember what those things were,
They're
but
big, right? Yeah.
yeah, it was big, sitting in a room. But those were, I mean, that was the power of that,
Hmm.
being able to take somebody who was not a programmer, but who had a little bit of an idea of the logic behind a process
Yeah.
and be able to put that into a program.
'Cause it seems
And
like that could happen. Because websites back in the day, you needed to code those like a developer. Now you don't. You needed
yeah,
like iBooks Author. You would have to learn how to code that before iBooks Author came out. There's so many instances where, this used to have to be coded. Now it's not. Maybe in a couple of years this will change.
yeah, maybe they'll take iBooks Author and, extend it into okay, instead of just making books, we're
iOS
now going
Author.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we can dream, can't we?
We can. I personally really hope iBooks Author supports this guy at some point. I want to read textbooks on this and other books, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, and this is kind of off the subject, but hey, I like getting off the
Yeah.
subject. I don't know if you've heard of an app called Vellum, and what it is it's from a company. Let me see if I can find the name of it here. The company's name is
Is it iOS?
180G is the name of the company. It's 180G.co. And what it is a application that makes it easy to create ebooks,
Hmm.
and it formats them for like iPhone, iPad.
Yeah. On the App Store, I'm seeing a number of not creation apps, but the end product here.
Yeah, and Vellum it's a really cool app. Well, the one complaint I had about it was you couldn't put photos into it. Well, I've now got the beta, and the
Hmm.
beta has the ability to add images and taglines, links if you wanted
Yeah.
somebody to be able to click on a picture and go out to a web page about it. So the great thing about that application is from some guys who used to work for Apple
Hmm.
is that they created a way that anybody can really set up an ebook, and they what you end up doing is you buy through an in-app purchase the ability to publish it on these various stores.
Hmm. That's cool.
So it's like it's free to use, it's free to download. You can create your own book. You can read it on your own device if you want to. If you want to make it public, you want everybody to be able to buy it. All you do is
Yeah.
just buy.
I gotta say, also on that front,
uh,
magazine creations gone light years. 2 years ago, or whatever, when a newsstand was out,
yeah,
uh, it was like 2 grand as the cheapest option I saw for me to get into that without knowing how to code. Now I think it's 25
yeah,
bucks a month for the thing that Jim Dalrymple uses. and I've
Yeah,
actually been looking at doing one of those at some point.
the
Yeah.
one I really had a lot of hopes for, and I really wanted to use, and now we'll probably never be able to do it because Apple bought them a couple,
Oh.
apparently. PRSS.
Yeah.
I from day one I've loved their travel magazine. TRVL is the name of it. They seem to have a problem
Oh my
with.
gosh! I think they contacted me a while back about doing like a thing with it. Yeah, so they got bought by Apple. Wow, that's
They got
amazing.
bought by
Yeah.
Apple, and I tell you, if they turn that into a magazine creation tool for the masses, we're all in really good shape because that
Yeah. I mean, basically, if
amazing,
you
good
you
stuff.
know, podcasting exploded because it's simple and or fairly simple to do, and more ways to distribute content, the better. We'll find the junk and the
Yay!
good stuff. So yeah, that's awesome.
And then
And
they
the good thing with
crap
magazines is
out
you can
the
monetize them. So
yeah, and then
no
they
no
create a
paid.
crappy
Yeah.
podcast app. Oops, we're not going to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
But at
Yeah.
least
I
we have.
finally I finally switched off of Apple's podcast app like 2 days ago. Very
Now let
excited.
me guess what you're using.
I'm sure you could.
Come on,
It's
come on.
Overcast.
Just what I figured.
Yeah, yeah. I figure he'd be one of the first to get a decent iPhone 6 Plus interface out there at some point.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, I am really looking forward to the general release of Yosemite. I've been running it now on this machine for whatever it's been, 3 days,
Yeah.
something like that. I've had it on virtual machines for I don't know how long. I haven't had a crash.
It's rock solid,
I,
yeah. Yeah, it is.
it's very solid, and I love seeing that.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to mention the podcast app has one purpose for me now. It's good. The like 5 video podcasts I watch, and I use that for that because it syncs my Apple TV for that. So you've got one
Yeah.
use podcast app videos. So, anyways, anything else in Yosemite, Stevie, before we end today's show here?
Well, I just can't think of anything else here that jumps out at me. But uh, it's funny. It's almost like a puzzle. One of those things where you're playing around with it, and all of a sudden you find some other nifty feature that you're going, wow, I didn't know I could
Yeah.
do that, or that just saved me 10 minutes from what I used to do. I think people are really going to be surprised and pleased with Yosemite when it finally gets out.
No, I totally agree. It is voodoo when the iPhone talks to the Mac the way it does, and there's much more than just that, but it's awesome. So,
Yeah.
well, Steve, where can folks find you on the interwebs? I know you write for Tuwa these days.
Yeah, I'm over at, that's, for people who haven't read it, it's the unofficial Apple weblog, or tuaw.com. We've been around for about 10 years now, and I'm one of the editors over there, so if you don't like something, get a hold of me on Twitter, at Stephen Sandy, and I'll ignore you. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'll be sure to take it under advisement. We love hearing from our readers, and I think it's really important to make sure that we're keeping people happy.
Yeah, very well. Thank you, Steve, for being on the show, and hope to have you on again in future episodes at
Thanks
some
for
point.
inviting me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a blast.
so this is the October edition, and
Yes.
we're right at the beginning of October.
Yeah, so
Cool.
basically, October edition. I don't know if it's going to be 2 or 3 parts. I'm just going to be recording shows and segments throughout the month. And at the end of the month, I'm going to do a nice big master cut of it all. Because I already do 5 weekly podcasts. I don't want to do another one. So I figured let's try this monthly format and have a bunch of people on during the month and see what happens, different topics. And it'll be a long form monthly show. So, yeah.
That is cool.
So there's tons of weekly Apple podcasts out there. I don't so we'll see what happens. I'm excited for this format. So
Awesome. Well, best of luck, and thanks again, Tim, and we'll have to do it again.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, man.
Cool.